Marvel vs. Capcom. Here's a Marvel for you. Get some bitches.
I did that last week, though.
Okay, I'm just going to take a second to be real with y'all. I mock the heck out of this game, but I do it for a reason. I do it because companies don't ever seem to listen unless we yell as loud as possible about what they did wrong. And they don't seem to get it through their heads unless that message is pounded into their heads here and there. But even if that were the case, I normally wouldn't hate this game that much. I hate this game the same way that Scott the Woz hates Chibi Robo Ziplash here and there. This was a game that gave fans of this series some long-standing hope that they hadn't had in years, and then promptly crushed it with the possibility of another Marvel vs. Capcom game possibly never being made. It is this kind of game that I really dislike. The kind that supposedly brings back a series, but just decimates it in a way that, well, in hindsight, you have to wonder, how could it not have failed? So, yeah, I may come off as angry or whatnot, but no. In reality, I'm just majorly disappointed with what is arguably one of my least favorite ways of how a game series can go. Something that was dead for a while, seemed like it had a chance, but now because it obviously failed for obvious reasons, the company will obviously go, well, people probably don't want this kind of game anymore, and so on and so forth. Alas.
Oh, come on, Ghost Rider gets the best of... Oh, no. Don't walk away from that.
Don't
walk away from that. Tap that. Tap that. Come on.
I will give credit to the story for the fact that we remember when Morrigan is not supposed to be a good guy. Sure, she fights, for a good cause, but she's still a succubus with evil intentions of her own. So there's that.
Honestly, Tio, Morrigan never really did come off as a bad guy. The only time where she ever came off as
that was the bad
the only
guy.
way for her to live is to get dick down and then kill the guy.
Actually, no, she doesn't.
The way that she lives is actually, believe it or not, Marcos.
Oh, Dad, please tell me when you tried the penance stare on her.
No,
please,
I don't know how to do supers.
Oh, wait, really? Oh, wait, that's right. We haven't mentioned another thing. Supers in this game suck. Like, I'm not even joking. Like,
well,
okay.
on a cinematic level, maybe, Jova. Gameplay-wise, technically have the same function. The only difference is that the cinematics are toned down for some reason.
Actually, Tio, not really. You remember the controversy about Hyper Level 3 combos in this game here. They don't do the damage that they did in Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. If anything, it's some weird percentile mechanic thing. I don't really know the logistics of that much, but basically, long story short, they don't do as proper damage as they did in Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. It was simple. Usually, the higher the level, the more potent the power of it was here and there. Here, it's a weird, different mechanic, which I still to this day don't get, and I just don't understand why they changed it that way.
I miss Ghost Rider's
Not gonna lie, I
Fantastic
thought you
Four
were about to lose.
Sorry, Dadja, what was that?
I miss his Fantastic Four costume.
Oh, yeah. I will say this, though. There are good interactions with Morrigan and Ghost Rider, of course. That said, though...
Okay, I will also say this in terms of voice acting. As someone who actually likes Liam O'Brien, I don't think he's super fit for Doctor Strange.
He voices Doctor Strange?
Yeah, where he replaced Ken Pasqualone, who did voice him in MVC3.
Liam O'Brien...
Wait, does he voice him in Ultimate Spider-Man?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I didn't even recognize Doctor Strange.
Is this the first time?
It's the guy with the costume is pretty similar to the one in the movie, Shiro. I don't know what you were
wait,
seeing.
Terrence, what were you about to ask?
Is this the first time Morrigan actually has a fucking English voice?
No,
No, the Darkstalkers cartoon.
Holy shit, those handguns are bigger than Dante's fucking head.
Gameplay-wise, Cross Edge, that was the first one, but it's not. It was Cross Edge, but it wasn't like the one which she has currently.
Guys, she did have an English voice in Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Hey,
yeah, that's what I meant, but Cross Edge was done before that, Jova.
Oh, right, I forgot she was in
Wait,
NBC3.
Cross... Oh, are you talking about Cross Edge? I thought you were talking about Cross Zone. Believe it or not, Shiroi. Hey, Shiroi, get this. Morrigan, a Scottish woman with a Scottish accent, is played by a Welsh woman in Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
Arthur, what are you doing here?
Well, still a Celt, so close enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty much, yeah. But yeah, that's the thing, Teal. Morgan was never, ever a bad guy. The only time she was a bad guy was in the Darkstalkers cartoon, and
she's a succubus, the daughter of the actual heir, the daughter of the actual ex-king of the Makai, and the actual heir to the throne. She literally schemes on her own to get to consolidate her position. You know, aside from maybe Felicia and maybe Sienko, no. Well, okay, Dawn.
Well, that's the thing, though. Capcom...
No, Felicia's a good guy.
She's a nun.
She's a priest.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I mentioned. The only exception that I can think of are Felicia, Sienko, and Donovan Bain, but that's it.
Hey, Tia. Oh my god. Oh my god.
She's not. She's just there. She's not evil or a bad person. She's just. She just wants to have fun.
She's also dummy thick.
Yeah.
Yes,
she
you
is.
know. That is sort of the thing, too.
But she kind of made herself not
Also,
look
since we
all
can't
that
have
hot.
the God Fetus stage because that's super controversial, we had to scramble up and make it combine it with the Venom symbiote for some
Which is
reason.
a cool idea.
I mean, yeah, I like the stage too. It's just that it feels. I understand why it's like this. No, Morrigan, no. Jada Doma is a dick.
Wait. Did you seriously say he's not being himself? Lady, on his debut...
Jada is all about this kind of shit of rebooting the universe.
Like, honestly, part of my fear is that Jada Doma was made so that Dimitri could have eventually been bumped up to protagonist role, because he's the one guy that even Dimitri finds unbelievably evil.
To be fair, Joe, maybe in the first game there was Pyron, so...
Well, yeah, but Jeda's even worse, but yeah, okay,
Yeah.
so
You know what the sad part about Darkstalkers is?
What?
hey,
Hold on. Okay, as someone who is more tolerant towards this roster in general, I still understand why they brought back Firebrand. Literally no one has asked for it. At least with Spencer I get because a favorite of Combo Pin, there are like 1 or 2 fans in the entire world. Nobody likes Firebrand. Nobody cares about Firebrand. Why is he
Ted
here?
likes Firebrand.
Who?
Brain scratch.
Oh, sorry.
Ted
Remember
from
that I
Brains.
don't really watch them. But still, I really don't get what they brought it here. There was literally so many other options of a veteran returning. The starting roster is already small as it is, and you kind of waste a couple of choices on this.
in fact, let's do a bit of roster analyzation here.
Oh, before we go there, let me just explain the sad part about Darkstalkers. It's the only it's one of the few franchises that live on through crossovers.
Pretty much.
Much. Look, if you look at Street Fighter V, look at all those costumes. They're like, wow, these look really good.
Jury's Morrigan costume, Jury's Lilith costume is absolutely amazing.
Gil's Pyron costume is like, oh my god, you went all out. It's like, why didn't you make a new Darkstalkers game?
They gave up.
Not just that, with Yoshiori Ono departing, from Capcom, the fighting division really doesn't have any more big names, unless they actually start hiring new people from the team, or they rely exclusively on people like Combo Fiend. There's really not much of a future.
I mean, you're gonna have to start hiring new people because eventually these guys have been in the business for so long, they're just gonna die.
Yeah, and from what I'm hearing, like this was around a few months ago. Street Fighter 6 is being done by someone else in charge.
Okay, I'm sorry. Like, I really don't understand the need of having another new Street Fighter this soon. 5 has been essentially alive through the entire development cycle of the PS4 and Xbox One and PC.
Because people don't. Street Fighter 5 is a game people really don't like.
Well, okay.
Fair enough, but why don't you instead, do the like a complete version, arcade version, whatever, call it whatever you want, that includes all the updates so far for the PS5, so as a starting point and develop from there. It's the same. It's the same reason that I had when Street Fighter 5 got announced, immediately with a new generation of console, alongside Ultra Street Fighter 4. I was like, why don't you have Ultra Street Fighter 4 and keep developing from there. You have an already consolidated base, and you can actually keep expanding from there. But
well, I mean, they technically are doing that with this new DLC, because apparently, like, Championship Edition was meant to be it, but
they're doing another one. Okay.
Yeah, they're adding
Edition.
Dan Hibiki.
Oh no, I already know that, and also Azuka from Rival Schools. I know that.
But that was like a last minute decision, because if the rumors are true, they did have like a test for playtesters played Street Fighter 6 and it had a tag mechanic and people didn't like it. They're like, let's just try to salvage Street Fighter 5, pad that out along while we try to fix on 6.
As for why they're intent on doing a Street Fighter 6 TO, well, that's unfortunate thing with Capcom. They like to play things ultra super safe these days, to the point where they kind of only stick, like, you know, a few certain franchises there consistently, which is why that recent Link has come up as something of a godsend. Like, that's the thing, Dej, a lot of Capcom's franchises actually only live through crossovers or even less than that. Don't even get me
Also,
started.
wait, let me check the year. It's been 5 years since 5. Well, next month. So I think them trying to make a new game, that's not too ridiculously soon.
Here's the thing, though, Dej. They've been constantly re-releasing 5 and updating it to the point where it feels like, well, it feels like 5
a complete game for once compared to how it was at launch.
True, but I get the idea that you can still, you know, do more from there instead of having, again, restarting from scratch.
That is sort of the thing, though. I mean, honestly, I do agree with you that maybe we could give Street Fighter V a little time to incubate for once, and maybe, I don't know, give some of your lesser-known franchises some shot in the spotlight for once here.
Like Star Gladiator for a change.
Or Dino Crisis.
Okay, no, Joe, I'm strictly about fighting game, you know.
Guys, we're getting a new Power Stone.
One of the better actual moments of comedy in the game. Like I said, with the second half, the plot actually starts getting improved, aside from like one more awkward moment between Dante and Iron Man. Oh, here we go. Whoop.
Okay.
Hold on.
Oh?
You know, I could whip you up a replacement. Something a little more sporty.
Yeah, no, it's a long story.
Okay, so long story, that's his wife. His wife is his middle arm.
His wife's soul is what powers up his bionic arm.
Okay.
Yes, Terrence, he jerks off to his wife every night, yes.
Okay, well... Okay, so I'm just gonna be honest. I get why Spencer's back, but I'm sorry, there are just way more interesting characters you could include. Like, I'll admit, I'm kind of a bit annoyed that Combo Fiend had the goal to say, oh, you only want certain characters because they're functions, yet this is...
Okay, wait, time out. I just... Look, he was under...
Yeah.
Disney had a bullet under... next to... had a gun on his head.
What he's trying to say is that... I get the idea that Combo Fiend essentially had to actually make a PR response and as something that he didn't want to say, because like I said in one of the previous parts, the guy, that is so uncharacteristic for him to say. The guy is not really the guy that goes around and throws hot takes like that.
Well, you know, as Dwight would say, to be unfair, that was a terrible choice to make. I can think of
course
so...
it
It's
was,
still
but
terrible, but I'm willing to question if it's really him that actually had to say it.
Unfortunately, guys, until we get proper confirmation on, you know, this or that, we're only left with what he said. And what he said was...
We kind of did, though, get some... there was one player in the FGC that had, like, a beta of the game or some early test situation, and he revealed that there was supposed to be a whole... the game was
that's not what Jova was talking about, Dej. No, that was talking about is that he was Combo Fiend really pressured, you know, by the execs to say that in that PR response about the functions.
Okay, fine. How about this? Wait. I got a better one. How about people in the FGC saying that they hated help market the game because of all the strict guidelines that Marvel kept giving them?
Those are guidelines, but I'm sorry, it's gonna take a lot for me to believe that Disney forced Combo Fiend to say the functions.
Does it feel really unnatural to you, Drova? Like, I honestly Honestly, to me, it feels much more a possibility rather than him just deciding out of nowhere to piss off people.
Let me say this. I can believe that Disney would have pressured Combo Fiend to come up with a reason, even if it was a BS reason, but I have a hard time believing that they forced him to say that specific thing, because I'm saying this.
Okay, Joe, a per possibility. Maybe he's like Sean Murray and doesn't do interviews.
Tia, let him go.
Thank you, Dad.
I like how Thanos is in the background, despite the fact that in the story we kind of hate him. Consistency.
I know.
Like,
hey, it's a nice attention to detail.
No. Actually, Dads, it's the opposite. It's a lack of attention to detail, seeing as how he's supposed to be out of this.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But, yeah,
Holy
honestly,
shit, I was right.
Yeah,
what were you saying, Terrence?
Holy shit. Okay, so, this is going back to Darkstalkers. There was a Darkstalkers anime back in the 90s.
Yeah, I actually watched it. Night Warriors Darkstalkers Revenge, a 4-part OVA.
And that was done by Studio Madhouse.
Yeah, it looks really good, I can tell you that.
But the thing is, there were actually some animators and people that worked on Studio Madhouse that went to work on Gainax. And there's
So they ruined Christmas? No!
There's this one animator that did a key animation episode in Gurren Lagann, and he also did Angel Blade as well.
Neat.
I have no idea what Angel Blade is.
He did porn.
Yeah.
No surprise.
Since we're on the topic of Gainax, Terrence, how do you feel about Ava being delayed?
Shit.
Ava being what?
Anime. The Ava movie.
Delayed.
I don't care about Ava, so I don't care.
Good man.
But I didn't even watch End of Ava.
Yeah, Woody's a god to a non-believer.
Whatever. Anyway, back to my point, though. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not gonna believe that anything caused Combo Fiend to say specifically that we only cared about characters because their functions. Come up with a better excuse.
I don't like Thanos' voice here.
What?
It's weird. It's the guy who actually voiced him in the new cartoons.
Yeah, that's his voice.
Maybe it's
that
just
guy's
the
been voicing
editing
Thanos for almost 10 years
so
now.
Strange.
But I feel like you're also just kind of used to the MCU.
Probably.
Yeah, which is one of the points when it comes to roster design and, some appearances. Something that also bite a big in the ass, the Avengers video game back in the marketing department before everything else. Again, at this point, a lot of casual Marvel fans are so... a lot of casual Marvel fans are so engraved with the MCU that any other side product that slightly might be more similar to it basically cause rage on them. They say, oh, but they're not played by the guys who played them in the MCU.
And we'll get more into that in the next part. See you then.
Yeah.
See you then.